Hello, and welcome to Making Sense of It. I am Mona Duncan, your moderator, and this program is our gift to you from the Glasser Institute for Choice Theory. Each week, we have a certified member teach us something about reality therapy and choice theory and how they use it in their life. And our speaker today is Ruth Shannon, and Ruth is newly certified. And so, Ruth, welcome. It is a delight to have you here. And we have some other people joining us also, and it's a delight to have each of you here. And when the program is over, we will open the airways or open the conversation for you to make input. But in the meantime, we'll go ahead and get started now. So, Ruth, you are telling us about your topic is.
Okay. So my topic is perceived world. So choice theory, reality therapy teaches us that our perceived world is our reality and we are functioning day to day in that world. So this topic and this example is how people can have different perceived worlds in the same situation or the same event and experience it completely different. What choice theory does in this presentation exemplifies is how choice theory can keep each individual focused on themselves, which is what they can control, and come to an agreeable solution that promotes growth from an inward perspective.
Okay, well, we're ready. Thank you very much. So go ahead and take it away.
Okay, so the background to this presentation is that there were two individuals, there were a group of women who did a presentation for parents, to empower parents about academics and curriculum for their children, culturally responsive curriculum. In the presentation, it went well, but two members had a disagreement or a different experience, so to speak, in which one individual felt like the presentation went well and it was ecstatic, and the other individual felt because there were typos and there were some issues with the PowerPoint and how it was aligned and things like that, that it wasn't a professional presentation. So she wanted the presentation taken down and corrected for those typos and different things. And Linda, what you'll hear is both two people in the Mona and Sharon, I think, are going to role play this for you guys. So you'll hear the conversation between them after the presentation, at which time I will walk them through it from a choice theory perspective. And then you will see how choice theory and reality therapy can support you in the what do you want, what are you doing, evaluate, and make a new plan.
Okay, so you're wanting Linda's and Sally's input?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry about that.
Okay, well, here's Sally's input. Sally states, you made me feel completely disrespected by your lack of communication. My colleagues will see this presentation and think less of me with all the typos and the disorganization. I want this video taken off of Facebook until it's fixed. And then do you want to know Linda's input also? Okay. And Linda states, you care way too much about what other people think. It is important that the message was received. We gave the presentation to support parents in advocating for their children. I disagree with the video being taken down. Plus, you are disrespectful. You think you're better than any of us. And then Sally speaks up again. I will reach out to one of my contacts to edit the video, and then we can re-record from the beginning and the typos on the PowerPoint, and take out the typos that are on the PowerPoint. And so Linda comes back with, I disagree with the video being edited, and I'm not going to re-record any portion because it is not authentic to the moment.
Okay, so prior to us going into this choice theory perspective, have either of you taken a side as to who's right and who's wrong? If you have, think about it, and then after this presentation, take note of that. And after the explanation, then I'll come back to that question again and ask you if you have a side or think someone's right or wrong. So from both Linda and Sally's perspective, the goal or the question would be, what do you want? So because you're role playing both, from your perspective, what does Sally want?
Sally wants meaning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she wants friendliness.
Okay. Okay. And what do you think Linda wants?
Well, I think Linda wants the same thing, but she is okay with the human errors that took place in the presentation. And as she said, it keeps it authentic to the moment.
Okay. So they're from a choice theory perspective, they're high on the power or significance bucket right now. Both of them in different ways. They both, have a need for meaning in this presentation. They're helping, supporting parents. So they're coming from a helping standpoint. They both want to do well. So the process of what do you want is the same thing. Getting individuals to understand that they want the same thing. So they absolutely want the same thing. They just have different perspectives, or they perceive the experience differently. In the perception piece of what do you want, asking that question, now it becomes a what am I doing? So Linda, what are you doing to get what you want? Or what do you see Linda doing to get what she wants?
Well, Linda is wanting things redone so that they can be more accurate, that there's no typos and there's no PowerPoint flubs. And Sally, again, is looking at what the message was received by the majority, even though it may not have been in a 1, 2, 3 ABC order.
Correct. In looking at what you want and what you both are doing, in both of their actions based on the excerpt, do you think they're both going to get what they want? Based on their actions now, because they're like at a standstill almost.
Well, based on their actions and their verbiage, each one thinks that they're right. And to a degree they are.
All right, exactly, absolutely. And that's the beauty of choice theory and perceived world, because it is your reality. It's very real for you. Understanding that what's real for you, it may not be real for someone else, is the key. And choice theory really eloquently allows you to process your experience and what you can control. So from Linda's perspective of, oh, it went well, human error is human error, let's keep it so people can see human error. And Sally's perspective is, if we go on with this, this is not professional. And if somebody sees this, they may think we don't know what we're talking about with such a heavy topic. So understanding both of those perspectives, for Linda to get what she wants, do you think either of them would be willing to budge? So if I'm going to role play both with you, so Linda, it seems that Sally wants, and you both want a good presentation and to have meaning, and for it to mean the goal to be received, which seems that it was. Is there anything that you could have done differently, or now from hearing Sally's perspective, are willing to do differently to come to an agreement for the same goal of making sure that people get to see the presentation?
Well, yes. I mean, from here on out, I am willing to have my PowerPoints viewed by someone else to see what may have some, discrepancy in there. And the thing of it is that the message was effective for the parents, and they did receive what we were trying to say, but it could be dressed up a little more.
Okay, absolutely. And Sally, based on you hearing Linda's perspective and her understanding and of human error and wanting that to be authentic and true to the space, based on what you want as a clean PowerPoint, is there some things you could do differently or are willing to do differently?
Well, yes. I mean, if one person is more casual than another, then accept who they are. But
Okay.
still have validity in the message that they're getting across to the parents and to the students. And
Okay.
so it's to be true to yourself to the best that you can be, and then continually evaluating. I know you talk about that a lot. Evaluate, evaluate, evaluate. So I certainly look at doing more evaluation beforehand rather than after.
Okay. Okay. All righty. So it sounds like Sally and Linda in this case come to a amicable solution and agree upon that they both kind of have the same want, which is most instances, that's what you find in relationships. You have some sort of the same want, and even if you don't, being able to understand what you can control yourself, taking a look at you all the time, even in the heat of it, if you have to take a break or something like that, but not pointing fingers or the finger of blame. That's one of the 7 disconnecting habits. So you don't want to disconnect with people. Relationships are important, and you want to, or you can choose to. You might not want to, but you can choose it. You can choose to look at yourself from a very introspective standpoint, not judgment, but just introspection to evaluate what you want. So you can be clear so that your actions can be aligned with what you want, your actions, your words, your behaviors. You may want something and you may be doing something that's not getting you there. Choice theory is very succinct in that way. The lineup, the questions you have to ask yourself really focus you inward on what you want to make sure that you're looking at what you want and you're choosing right action and right words and behavior all the time. And thoughts too. Thoughts are the most important part. So for the most part, that was my presentation.
Well, all right. So am I hearing you say, Miss Ruth, that relationships are important?
Yes.
But that we can work individually on being more relatable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because the goal is to have relationship, and everybody wants one. That's most of the trouble when there's upset or discord, is there's some relationship in your life that is imbalanced. You may not know which one that is, but you being present to choice theory will allow you to understand that, and understand that I look at the 5 tenets of choice theory as buckets. So you have love and belonging, and you have survival, you have power, significance, and not in a control, or I have power over you, but I have the power to choose. You have fun and you have freedom. Those buckets for me are fluid, because at any given moment you can need one more than the other. Tomorrow can be different than today. If I'm planning a vacation, then my fun bucket is way up there. If during the pandemic, survival buckets were a priority. So different, understanding that you can feel different things at different times, or both two needs could be the exact same at the exact same time. But being aware and knowledgeable about your levels and what you need will put you in a space to evaluate yourself. And what choice theory does is give you applicable knowledge. Knowledge is one thing, but knowing how to apply it is where growth lies. And choice theory not only teaches you the knowledge, but it shows you how to apply it in a very real way, where it becomes a part of who you are. Because I ask myself, what do I want? What am I doing? I evaluate and I make a plan in the moment. I can be in the grocery store. I could be in a gas station having a bad customer service experience, and immediately I can think about what I want. I want to get my stuff. I want to get out of here. Okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to say, thank you. Have a nice day. Maybe if I need to call corporate or something, I will, but I'm not going to stand here and argue because I want something different. So being clear about what you want is the goal, and understanding that choice theory does that in a very simple way, and it is applicable across all platforms.
Okay, so I was making a little chart here as you were talking, and you went right into it. I had put up here just to be relatable, and in being relatable, here's a list for me and a list for others. So
Mm-hmm.
what is it that I want?
Mm-hmm.
And then do you also think, what does my audience want?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You think about it, and you think about it in a way of what's your goal. And then you can be really choice theory and ask, because you can't make assumptions. So if I assume for you, then I get into some trouble then too. But if I ask you, well, what do you want, and what do you need, and looking for the need underneath the want, it is applicable in parenting, it's applicable in professional settings, and just anywhere with anyone, even if you're in the streets and it's with somebody you don't even know. You could be, in our day and time, it's tough out here, but choice theory can get you to what you want real quick. If somebody's trying to carjack you or harm you, what do I want? I want safety. What's the quickest way? Okay, take my purse, take my car, take it all, go. You know, like the quickest way to that is what I need. So being repetition by practice, you get better. So repetition is the key, and not being judgmental of yourself, but really evaluating for growth. So you're not evaluating to say, oh, I'm horrible, I did that wrong, or like in Linda and Sally's case, somebody had to be right, somebody had to be wrong. No, it's just different. I have a different perceived world than you. My perceived world, professionalism, appearance matters. Not to say that I care less about the message, but I care about that too. And in Linda's world, yeah, professionalism is one thing, but she's all about the human experience and the audience being able to see typos and all sort the inner workings of human error when you're doing a presentation for her was authentic, but they both wanted the same thing. So it's perceived world is very I won't say tricky, but it is choice theory helps you to understand that everybody's perceived world is their reality. So if my children perceive me one way and I'm not clear about that, but they can explain to me like, we experience you as mean, or whatever, then I can say, oh, well, that's not what I want. I don't want you to experience me as mean. So okay, now what can I do? And in some cases, maybe people can give you pointers or suggestions, but in all cases, you should be able to self-evaluate.
And so even if they do give you suggestions, listen to it and think about it.
Yeah, just a little bit. Consider it, depending upon whom you're working with and the value of the relationship for you. So if it depends, if it's a family member or someone you care about and this relationship is meaningful or valuable for you, then you could choose to consider their experience or their information, because it's all information, and take a look at it and evaluate. Although it could just be that you have a want that you're not clearly expressing. I could want my kids to do chores and things, and the way about it may be completely wrong. Maybe, barking at them, which is another disconnecting habit, nagging at them is completely wrong. So because I'm doing it and disconnecting at the same time, I'm not getting a result. If I take a look at what I want to do the chores, I don't want to nag, I don't want to scream, I don't want to be stressed out. Oh, so what can I do? Oh, I can create a checklist, put it on the refrigerator, and give them options. These things need to be done before I wake up in the morning. I need the kitchen clean, the trash out. How you do that is all on you. But here's the checklist. Now I'm not barking. They can delegate who likes to do what as siblings. They can determine, well, I'll take out the trash and I'll sweep. So it's less and it's connecting because I gave them choice. I'm not nagging them, and I'm showing them that I have a belief in what they're capable of.
So you're not nagging, but you do check up on to make sure that things have followed through.
Oh yeah. Well, they check up because they have to ask themselves, is this my best work?
Okay.
That's the question at the end of it. Is this my best work? If it's not, then you should go back and do a little more.
Okay. And what about the thank yous? Do they come in there?
Yeah. Oh, yes, definitely. And that was choice theory allowed me to have a relationship with them for them to tell me, you never say anything when we do our chores, but if they're not done, you have a whole lot to say. And I'm like, ooh, I did it noted. Yeah, okay. Sorry about that. Like, you're right. Thank you. So now I make sure to notice when I come in and out so that I can make sure that I'm being present and congratulating and acknowledging to build a relationship.
Well, all right, all right, all right. Thank you so much. Seems like that you really have this down. What do you want? What are you doing? What do you need? Evaluate, consider the other, give thanks, give appreciation. Yes, well, thank you very, very much in learning how to be relatable. So thank all of you. We've got a good audience here, and thank you for being here. I'm going to close the airways and open it up for those that are here to make comments. In the meantime, thank you for being here, and good mental health.